people are tuning in. I don't know how good the connection is out here, but this is my church. So we're going to give, I said it was going to start at 8:11, but I wanted to start kind of on time this morning. Let me see if I can get somebody else to join us. Hold on one second. Share the video. All right, here we go. All right, trying to fix it. Trying to get some people to look on here. All right, so I'm going to give this probably about 3 minutes. And while everybody, I guess, is trying to log in, I'm hoping that they are doing it. Let's do this one more time. Share. All right. Thank you for the interruption. All right. So send it to a few more people. So hopefully this works out. And today we are going to be talking about the 5 love languages. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. My dad is Jerry Jarman. So hopefully he's going to be tuning in here in a little bit. All right. Anyway, I would like to give a shout out to my grandparents also. I thought about, my grandparents brought me to church when I was a little kid. And I was so thankful that I had them in my life. But a way that I like to show them appreciation now is not, I don't really enjoy going to church. That's not how I show appreciation to God. So I decided to bring my grandparents out here and show them my church for Father's Day. So this is how I am enjoying my father today. And I'll get you guys to kind of look around here. Hear all those birds? All right, we got one person. Looks like they're logging on. Let's see who that might be in the chat. I appreciate you logging on. So today we are celebrating fathers for Father's Day. And my dad is Jerry Jarman. And my grandfather was A.V. Kirkman. Now, my grandfather passed away when I was in the 3rd grade. And my grandmother, I think, lived for about 13 years after that. But even if your father isn't alive, how are you paying tribute to your father? And today we are talking about the 5 love languages. And, a way that a lot of people show expressions of love is by doing whatever their family member wants them to do for whatever specific holiday. So, my grandparents, I grew up in the church. And so my grandfather, a way for me to show him love was by taking him to church. But you know what? He's not here. And so I decided to take him to my church. So this is what I do for my church. Look at this little bench right here coming up. See, look at that. Isn't that sweet? And then if you span around like this, you see the lake there. Uh-huh. So this is my church. So however you want to show appreciation, go do that. Just because you're told, okay, well, I got to go to church because that makes me feel close to God. Well, church is a good platform for people to do good in the world. But if you want to give thanks, what does that look like to you? So today's topic is going to talk about the 5 love languages. And, this is something that I've known for quite some time, but I really haven't, tried to think about that until recently. One of the assignments that I had for my students this week, and I'm going to give them an extension because you know why? I need an extension, and I want to make sure that I have good work given to me so that I can grade it. because I was too busy thinking about the future assignment that I'm not living kind of in the present moment. And so, this class is evolving, that I'm teaching online. But part of the feng shui assignment, all right, if you want to go back and look at that, you can look at my playlist and it says motivating projects. Try to check those out if you need a little bit of assistance in energizing your home and trying to create better energy flow. And if you need motivation, or if you need better relationships in your house, it kind of shows you how to energize your home to create that space so that you can bring those in. So a student emailed me and said, well, I don't have all these resources. And I started thinking, I was like, you know what? That's a good point. And I love being a teacher because it allows me to learn a lot about myself and how I can be not only a better teacher, but a better person in my own life with other relationships. And I started thinking about the feng shui thing, and I said, oftentimes when we feel like, well, I can't do this, because we make excuses for ourselves. And abundance doesn't have to mean, well, you have to go out and go buy something. Okay, and I'll give you a prime example. I have this grandfather picture that I made, all right, for my grandmother. And I gave her this when I was in the 10th grade. Now, that's a pretty good picture, okay? And I had it framed and matted. I mean, I honestly think I paid like $80 for this. I mean, it's good quality, and I got it from a local person, okay? And, she placed that at the entrance of her home. And you know what? I place it in the same spot in my house at the entrance of my home. And I wanted to make sure that I balanced out the masculine and feminine energy as it was coming into my home. And, I was like, oh, I know I got a picture of my grandmother. I know I got a picture of my grandmother. Because I had gotten in this headspace where I've got to have something physical right now. I need to go and waste time, okay? Because time is money. And I didn't have time to be looking for this stuff. So I was trying to find this picture. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to create art that represents my grandparents. Because look, I drew this picture. I created that. That's not a physical picture that was taken of what my grandfather looked like in this lifetime. Because when I see my grandfather now, he is so much more beautiful than he ever was in this physical realm, because I feel him spiritually, all right? It's very amazing. So I was like, you know what? My grandmother had this right here, okay? And I made this for her probably about the same time. It's a blown, you know what? I think here's another project, Mama, that I didn't turn in crafts class because I kept it and I never This is why I earned that F, Mom, in crafts class. Folks, let me tell you what, I never turned in my work in crafts class because I liked what I did. I made picture frames. I made this pie. I made my prom dress. I did this. And so I kept my work. And anyway, that's why I got an F. It was funny. I called my mama Collect and told her I was at the beach. And she said, Chrissy Jarvin, you are grounded. You got an F. So anyway, back to the story, squirrel. Okay, so anyway, I made this for my grandmother, and I found it yesterday while I was cleaning up the energy in my space that represents the benefactors of my bedroom. And I said, you know what? I already have something. I already have something. I don't need to go and search for this picture. This is something that I created that my grandmother kept in her house. Okay, so what I did is I had this cup that it was sitting in. I think my stepmom gave it to me. Thank you, Cheryl. And I found this piece of material. I just cut it off of a Halloween costume that I had. When I saved America last year, I wore a Statue of Liberty outfit out there at the polls. I didn't care. I like dressing up. And then I put this little gold piece. This was also from other Halloween costume. And I was like, gold represents money. Gold represents abundance. Gold, see that little star there? You are the star, Leo. You like to be the star. You like to dress up. You like to have fun, okay? So I was like, this represents my grandmother. All right, and so I brought my grandparents out here to come to church with me. Look, I even wore my my pearls, okay? I got my pearl cat ears on. Sorry I couldn't find my pearl necklace, but the important part is that I showed up, and God loves me regardless if I got on exercise clothes or if I got on high heels and a fancy dress. Okay, So we also have my little spirit animal out here. Everybody has a spirit animal, and I did a chat last night, and watch that if you want to. And it is showing you how to use the yoga trapeze with meditative hypnosis and sound bath. And that's usually what I do. Now, if the sound quality is a little bit off, I didn't have anybody tuning in to tell me if they could hear me or not, so it was kind of hard to hear. So, because I was trying to film in 2 different places, Instagram and YouTube. But basically what you do, and thank you, Daddy, all right, because we're talking about Father's Day, and we're talking about the 5 love languages. So my dad helped me install a yoga trapeze in my living room space, because, folks, I don't watch television. And I'm like, if this is my entertainment center, if this is my living area, what do I want that to look like? Well, I want to be a YouTuber. Well, I want to exercise and have fun and dance, okay? And so that's what I did. I turned my downstairs area into a functional space. I can chill out and watch stuff on YouTube, okay, or Rumble. And that's what I use for entertainment. I can also make it a workout room and film it for work. And I also use it as a therapy place for myself. And I also use it as a gym. I got my yoga trapeze in there. And I also use it as a dance area. I could turn that music on and dance around in my living room, so it's functional. So what? I don't want a little living room space that, hard ass furniture and everybody's looking like this. Like, that's not fun to me. That's just looking at things. That's not functional living space. So anyway, on there I was talking about what is your spirit animal, because that was the hypnosis that we were listening to yesterday. And everybody they always think it's funny. It's like, oh, my spirit animal is this, and oh, my spirit animal is this. Well, I think my spirit animal is a dragon and a crow. I have a good sense of being here in the physical realm and in the spiritual realm. So my spirit animal is a dragon, all right? And then you can flip it like this, and it can be a unicorn. And I loved it because my niece had one of these when she was younger, and I loved it. And so I got a little small one that looked just like it to put in my dash. So I have that. And then my other spirit animal is a crow, because they like to leave me feathers, or ravens. I kind of get those confused. I think the raven is a little bit bigger, and I've seen both of them out there in my yard, even though they are not indigenous to this area. All right, so we are talking about the 5 love languages. And so what does that look like to you? How do you like to receive love? How do you like to give love? I'll start with me. All right, there are 5 ways that we can give love. Number 1, gifts, giving people things. Giving people things. Why do we do that? Because we want this person to like us, okay? And that's fine, all right? But did you get something back in return? Number 2, acts of service, doing things for people, okay? I'll tell you right now, if you want to please me, go do something for me. Do something for me that I can use. When my dad comes over to my house and he helps me do things, I love that, because he is giving me something that I can't do for myself. He has helped me put that yoga trapeze up. He helped me fix my fence. He helped me, what else did he help me do? Fix my circuit breaker thing in my garage last week. He cut these poles for me, and I was like, Daddy, I don't have the money for this to pay you back. He's like, oh, don't worry about it, Boogie. That's my nickname, Boogie. I've never asked why that's my nickname. I don't want to know why. I'm sure as a young kid, we all did that, right? Okay, live up to it. Just think about yourself, okay? Adults are only children that grew up. So you've got to have a good relationship with your inner child, all right? And this is why I decided that I wanted to have a better relationship with my inner child and dress up in cat ears and make cat videos and have fun. Okay, number 2, physical touch, all right? We all love to get hugs, okay? We all like to, be sitting next to our special person, okay? That makes us feel good, all right? Physical touch doesn't always mean to be sexual in nature. Physical touch can mean a hug, holding somebody's hand. Um, the heart connects in less than 6 feet, okay? How do you hug people? Leave that in the comments. I want you to know, all right? Is it the right side or is it the left side? Comment on which side you hug on. Let me know. Let me know in the live chat, okay? I don't know that I can do all this right now because I'm trying to do that, but try to just talk amongst yourselves, or you can leave this in the comments on Facebook if that's where you're watching. Which side do you hug on? All right, so when I hug like this. So my heart goes on the other side of the person's heart. Why don't we hug heart to heart? I mean, I'm sorry, I hug like this. Sorry. Don't even know which way I hug. Folks, I'm so used to teaching like mirror, where this is my right, this is my left, this is my right. Okay. You have to laugh at yourself, folks. The old me would sit there and say, "Oh, you're so stupid. Turn it off. Let's start over." But no, everybody likes to see your faults. And you know why? Because I like to see other people's faults and I like to see them laugh at themselves. It's cute. It's fun. That's how we grow. All right. Heart is here. All right. Let's try to get in the habit of hugging heart to heart. Okay. It's going to feel weird because a lot of us hug like this, where we turn our heart away from other people. Why do we do that? Why do we do that? It could be that maybe there might be something blocked in our heart chakra that we need to work on, which doesn't allow us to, you know, be our best selves, because we might have some blockages there that prevent us from being our best selves. And so they come in the form of walls that we built up, or blockages, or stories that we tell ourselves, like I'm not good enough to have XYZ. Okay, that's blocking the heart chakra. And then if you do that, it doesn't allow things to come in, so you're blocking the heart energy from coming in to help you. Okay, so try to think about how you hug people. Is it the right or left side? Try to get to a point where it's heart to heart. Okay. The next one, all right, is words of affirmation. All right. This is why I love my stepmom. I can always count on getting a card in the mail around the holidays. Now, unfortunately, Chrissy doesn't go to the mailbox once every 2 weeks, so I might get a Halloween card halfway through November. But you know what? I keep those cards, and that is her way of showing love. Another way of her showing love is, if you've ever been to my stepmother's house, it looks like home and garden. She's got all the Christmas trees up, and they're decorated in different themes, and she loves to do a great place setting. And I'm so glad that I have this amazing person in my life, because she has taught me so much. She's taught me about design. She's taught me how to be artistic. She was so creative in herself, and it gave me somebody to look up to so that I too could enhance my creativity abilities. And so I appreciate you, Cheryl. And that is the way that she shows love. She shows love by making things beautiful, and she wants to share that with other people, because that's how she shows love and wants to be appreciated. So number 5 is spending time. And this is what brings me back to my grandparents today, because I wanted to put this out yesterday, but I didn't really have all the pieces together until I woke up this morning. It was like, oh my God, you got to go do this right now. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go do this right now. And it was 4 a.m. in the morning. So it took me a minute to get ready. Okay. But I think when we look at the types of relationships that we have in our life, it's important for us to see how people give love and receive love. This is my grandmother right here. My grandmother was another person who also taught me how to be creative. In fact, I was so creative that Mimi lost her identity when I came into this world. Nobody knew what Mimi's name was until, I'm sorry. Everybody called Mimi after I started calling her Mimi. We'll just leave it at that. And I asked her one day, I was like, Mimi, why did I start calling you that? And she says, I don't know. She says, the only thing that I can think of is that I would always be in the kitchen trying to help her do things. And I'm 2 years old, 3 years old. I can't do all these things. I'm sure it was frustrating for her, but I wanted to help. And bless her heart, she was so patient. She said, let me do it, let me do it, let me do it. And I think that that's what I thought her name was me. Mimi. All right. So after I started calling her Mimi, everybody started calling her Mimi. So bless her heart, she went from being Linda Kirkman to being Mimi, and everybody called her Mimi, even people at the church. The pastors would call her Mimi. My stepdad Wayne called her Mimi. And anyway, I just thought that was kind of cute. And it was almost like the show Andy Griffith. Frances Bouvier, I can never pronounce her last name, please forgive me, lost her identity. Everybody called her Aunt B, and she hated it. She hated it. I read something, or they did a documentary on her, and she died miserable. Just, she never aspired to do anything outside of the Andy Griffith show because she had lost her identity for an actress of who she wanted to be, and she just was only Aunt B, and so she lost her identity. So instead of embracing that success that made her loved around the world, she died miserable. My grandmother was the most kind person I have ever known. She loved to show love by giving food. Don't you want some more milk with that? You sure you don't want some juice? Here, have another biscuit, okay? That was how Mimi showed love, was by giving food, okay? That's not what Chrissy needed, because Chrissy got fat. But I thank you, Mimi, because guess what? I done worked through all of that, and I became a health and fitness educator, and that is how I lived 25 years of my life. But my journey to get there probably wasn't as successful as it's going to be when I've tried to revamp the class and focus more on the inner work instead of the outer expression. So going back to my feng shui assignment, I made this, and I was like, you know what, this represents my grandmother. Didn't have to go out and buy anything, had abundance already in my house. I just had to think about the resources that I had. These people right here, okay, talk about resources and using the resources that you have. They grew up during the Depression. I remember my grandmother telling me one time, she said, it didn't matter if you had money or not, you couldn't buy anything with it. It didn't mean anything. She said the only people that survived were the farmers, because they had food and they had resources that they could barter with. So folks, it's important to be able to develop your own creativity, okay? And have something that you can barter with. It's not always about giving gifts. I mean, look at the 5 love languages, okay? Think about it. How do you give love? How do you receive love? You can't just give, and never receive, because that messes up the balance of natural energy. And when that happens, it leaves you worn out. And you can't just be over here, receive, because guess what? You're hurting the person that's giving you that. That's not fun. That's not happy. Okay? It doesn't make people feel good. Okay? So, think about how you give love and how you receive love. And you start from there. Start from there when you start thinking about the relationships with your people. If you, for example, I like to, oh, there's an ant on my phone. I was like, what is that? Hey, Mr. Ant. Train of thought, there's a squirrel. That's why you went on there, Mr. Ant. You got me confused. All right, back to me. How do I give love? I like to receive love by people doing things for me, like my dad, okay? I like to receive love by, making a memory with people, okay? Because then that way I get to experience something with them. That's how I like to give love. That's how I like to receive love. But I also get in a habit of buying things for people too. Okay? And I'm starting to do better at that. Um, and also giving my energy to people that aren't giving me energy back. And you need to make sure that you're kind of distancing yourself from things like that, because if you're the only one that's giving the energy, giving the energy, giving the energy, and the people that you're hanging around are the energy vampires, they're the ones taking, 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 and then you just feel depleted, okay? That's not healthy relationships at all. And so a lot of people end up staying in relationships like that for codependency issues, and they don't even realize that they have those. But they think that this is what love looks like. I have to give, I have to give, I have to give, but they're giving in the wrong way. Okay? They're not giving in the right way that's going to get them to have love in the way that they want it, because they've built up all these walls around their heart, Leo. Right? That's their heart energy, the big lion. All right? Try to think about what's preventing you from receiving love the way that you want. What is preventing you from not looking at the real picture? Because it probably needs to be a good balance. If you like to receive love by somebody doing something for you and spending time with you and having an experience, then why are you buying things for people? Make sure that you are giving love the way that you want to receive it, and also be in relationships that like that too. Or if you're not, we all have people in our lives where it's like, to show them love, you have to buy them something. To show them love, you have to show appreciation. All right? Showing appreciation doesn't mean that you always have to buy something, okay? Um, you know, I'll tell you one thing. I went down to Florida to help my friend Leisha paint her bedroom. And that girl was as happy as she could be. She was like, I have, you know, this person over here helping me wash dogs. I have Chrissy over here helping me paint this room. I just am so appreciated right now. She likes to receive gifts by people doing things for her, acts of service. So now that I know that, guess how I'm going to show this person love? Acts of service. And guess what? That's how I like to give love too. Stop buying people things. Use the resources that you have. The resources that you have is the creativity that you have, that nobody can take that away from you. We all have special gifts in this world, okay? And you're prevented from seeing those. Let me see what time it is. 27 minutes. I'm going to go just for a little bit longer, okay? What prevents us from seeing those is our connection to AI. Now, we can use technology to enhance the way people think, self-motivation, looking at YouTube, trying to learn how to do something. There's so much information on YouTube right now for self-help. Just folks, just look it up. Look at my last video. I got a hypnosis link in the description of that video. I have a sound bath healing in there. I have a connection to a local energy healer here in Greensboro, Sky Bradshaw. And I used some of her cards yesterday in this video, which expressed exactly what I was doing yesterday. So, you know, there is so much information that is out there that is here to help you. And, you know, make sure that you're looking at that. You don't always have to buy something for somebody. You don't always have to buy something in order to do something. You can get that by using your own resources of creativity. And AI is taking that away from you. And what that means is, how are you using technology? Are you using technology or the television to numb out, to escape? Or are you using the technology? What got me used to using technology is because I took a break from technology. I got off of social media. All right. And then, let's see, 2020 happened, and I spent all that extra time when I got off of social media in 2019. In 2020, I just poured that energy into my house, and I still wasn't on social media. So in 2021, I still wasn't on social media. And then in 2022, I ended up having to create social media platforms for what I was doing last year. So I had to look at social media in a different way. Instead of being a consumer of social media, I became a creator of social media. So when you look at it from a different perspective, I was allowing AI to control my thoughts. I was allowing people's perspectives. Good morning. How are you? Like those little doggies. I'm doing my little church this morning.
Oh, nice.
For Father's Day.
Oh, get out there.
There ain't nothing in there.
Oh, I got a fly that won't fit in.
I know that's the hardest part about walking in the morning is going through the cobwebs.
I know. I just was saying to myself, I'm going to get a hat that has the netting because I hate that.
You know what? But it's worth the view, though.
Yeah.
We're out here before anybody else. You have a good morning.
You too.
I'm glad she stopped by because I was thinking, I was like, I need to cover that. I was like, that's the worst part about coming out here in the mornings is all these cobwebs. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, I don't care because I'm still going to have a beautiful view and have my little church this morning. All right. Where was I? Squirrel brain. Squirrel brain. Help me out. Well, apparently, I guess I need to shut up. So, um, yeah, let's talk about routines for just a second. Okay, routines. What does yours look like? Try to hang around people that you want to emulate, that you want to be like. You know, I learned a lot of good things from my grandparents. I learned that I needed to use the resources that I have available to me in order to be successful. I don't need to buy something because when you try to buy something, you create even more lack in your life because you think you don't have already. So therefore, you got to go out and spend more money, have less money, and then you have less abundance because you think you need to buy things in order to fill that spot. So look at the relationships with people and try to love them the way that they want to be loved. Okay, if if spending time with somebody, that was what my grandmother wanted me to do. Her face lit up whenever I spent time with her. I remember when I was in high school, we had just gotten on the block schedule when I was in ninth grade, and I loved it because I only had to learn 4 subjects at a time, and I didn't have to learn like 8 at a time. So school was real easy for me, and I was bored. And that's why I got in trouble and stopped being creative because I was bored in school. And anyway, went to my grandmother's house because I had so many classes, and I decided that do you want to learn calculus or do you want to eat lunch with your grandmother every day? And I went to school the very first day and I took the calculus class, and that chalkboard was on fire. That lady was writing so fast. So I was like, no, 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 no. I am going to go eat lunch with my grandmother every day. So her face just lit up, right? Because she knew that when I came over, she was going to get some work done. Oh, I need you to wash these windows. I need you to wax this floor. All right. But she always had food. Oh my gosh, she could cook so good. And she always expected me. And that was her way of exchanging gifts. I gave her something, okay? And then she gave me something in return. She fed me. So that was an energy exchange. My problem was is that I didn't know how to turn off the food. So, it's okay to say no, thank you. Okay, you don't have to overindulge in the food just because that's some way of showing appreciation. Okay, you can have a little bit that say thank you and go on. And you know, sometimes you kind of have to look at how people show you love because maybe that's the way that they want to receive love, right? And I need to be better about that. I need to be better about writing thank you notes, all right? Because that means something, and that's a lost art for a lot of people. They don't write thank you notes anymore, and that is just this. I don't care about the gift that you gave me. That basically, if that is how someone shows you affection, if you get a thank you note from someone, you need to write them a thank you note for what they gave you, because when they gave you something, they want to know that you love it, and you show them that you love it by sending them a thank you note. Some people don't care, but some people do. And so just understand, if someone sends you a thank you note, if they give you something physical, thank them for it, because that's how they show love. And so I need to be doing better at that. And I'm going to pray for that right now. Okay. So, folks, if you need prayer, like this is Chrissy's church, leave the prayer comment below and I will put it on my list. I have people that I'm praying for here that I know that need prayer. And so I'm going to write them down. So, something, what did I say? Prayer. Right. So, something that I am going to pray for is for people that have a lack mentality in their life. Why is that? And they don't know that they have the lack mentality in their life. And sometimes it could be passed down from ancestral karma. All right, so let's think about that for a minute. If your grandparents grew up in the Depression, they probably did have a lack mentality because of what they were forced to do. They were forced to live with very little resources, or the resources that they had, but their life was still abundant, but maybe they passed down DNA wise, because it does affect you at the DNA level, what you go through in your life, and it affects you. And you hold on to that, and it is passed down from a lack of mentality. So a lack mentality shows up in people buying things, a lot of things, or having a lot of possessions, and they feel like they have to have a lot of these possessions because they have lack in their life. They don't have the resources. They tell themselves they don't have the resources, so I got to go out and buy. And then guess what? They just keep all these things and then they never use them because they think that they have a lack of resources when they don't. So this is my prayer, to try to help people who don't really connect the dots too much about where the lack came from. The lack could have probably been from something that happened to you when you were younger, and then maybe your sense of lack came from you didn't have the resources, or you didn't have the love, or you were alone at this particular time, okay, which made you feel like I have lack of love in my life, so therefore I'm never going to have love again, or I'm never going to have money again. That's that lack mentality, and you build up all these walls. So it's important for us to kind of go back and see where that came from, because once you do that, you can heal so many other things within your life and start living a life of abundance instead of a life full of lack that you are creating, that you don't even realize that you're doing it. Okay, if you constantly tell yourself, I don't have the money and I don't have the time, you will have more of that. I don't have the money and I don't have time. And I lived that last year myself. When I was running for office, I was like, I don't have the money and I don't have the time. I don't have the money and I don't have the time. So guess what? I had more of that. So now I tell myself, okay, and I'm praying for myself, and I'm asking for prayer for myself. This is why I'm asking for prayer for you. See how that works? Give, receive, right? I'm asking for prayer that I am able to create a Facebook page today for my business, 9 Lives Energy, and that I'm able to create an Instagram account for 9 Lives Energy, and that I'm able to work on that Catterdays with Jinko Facebook page. Folks, that would mean me operating 3 Facebook pages, 2 Instagram accounts, 2 Facebook accounts, while working a full-time job and a part-time job. I do have the time, but I need to be more resourceful with the time that I have. So please pray for me on that. That's what I need, because I can create it, but the problem is after I create it, what am I going to have the time to actually do it successfully? So I need that. Okay. Here we go. So I was living a lack mentality of I don't have the time. I do have the time, and I'm going to get a little help from my friends because they're praying for me. And here we go. All right. So sending a prayer with my grandfather's energy. Thank you, A.V. Kirkman. And another little prayer with the energy of my grandmother here. All right, I ask the energies being presented to me at this time for your help in healing and releasing the lack mentality within myself, my past lives, and my ancestors. I have chosen to be here at this time as an Aries warrior in order to evolve as a soul and to help my family and loved ones heal from the trauma associated with a lack of abundance. Release any and all walls, blockages, dependencies, and mindsets created by shame, guilt, anger, and abandonment. I release their hold and I send it back to the light with love to be transmuted to the energies of forgiveness, courage, love, peace, and abundance. Thank you, Father God, Mother Earth, archangels, spirit guides, and helpers for your guidance, love, and support. I'm grateful for the many gifts which have been bestowed to me and have allowed me to have abundance through artistic expression. I'm thankful for my lessons and experiences which have further developed even more magical abilities within myself so that I can help others. I give love and thanks with a grateful Leo heart to the universe, the creator, and to creation. Please send help to those who need it most. Assist those who may be struggling to do the inner work so they too can create their own happiness, whatever that looks like to them, and live a life of peace, harmony, love, and abundance. So, folks, if you are interested in maybe using that mantra at the end, you know, feel free to do that and start here. Okay, what do you want to release? I released walls, blockages, dependencies, and mindsets. What do you want to release? It doesn't have to be four things, just pick one. All right, but if you're going to throw that out there, you have to transmute it and send it back with love. Okay, because you can't just throw the energy out there, because guess what, it's just going to stay out there and get on somebody else or come back to you. Okay, that's how the boomerang works. So send it out and send it love and transmute it. What do you want that frequency to be? Okay, I chose walls, blockages, dependencies, and mindsets. I changed the energy. Okay, and because those were created by bad energy. The creation of that bad energy was four things: shame, guilt, anger, and abandonment. All right, what do you want to change the frequencies of? Okay, I chose to transmute those four energies that were shame, guilt, anger, and abandonment, and I changed them to energies of forgiveness. Forgive yourself, forgive those that hurt you. Hurt people, and you don't realize that. And sometimes, you know, I love this quote by Maya Angelou, and I'm not going to get it right, so please forgive me. It says, I did the best that I could at the time with the information that I had to be, but as I developed and as I knew better, I did better. So we can't be mad at somebody for doing the best that they could at the time with the information that they had, okay? So we have to forgive ourselves, including yourself. The courage to forgive, the courage to stand up, the courage to, you know, tell that person that you care about them. Life's short. Tell that person that you're sorry. Tell that person that you love them. Tell that person that you think about them, okay? Transmute it to love, okay? Because if you get those energies out there, okay, anger, guilt, abandonment, and shame, that turns into hate, another low frequency vibration. Turn it to love. That is the opposite of hate. And anger, okay? If you're angry, you're raging. Let's transmute it and be peaceful. That's the opposite of anger. And if I have a mindset of lack, a lot of times that lack mentality comes from abandonment of money, abandonment of whatever, which causes you not to have a good relationship with yourself and other people. Turn it around, change it to abundance. I do have the resources, okay? You have the resources, especially with the relationship with yourself. How do you treat yourself? How do you show yourself that you love you? Okay, it's not just the 5 love languages of I give you love and you give me love back. How do you give yourself love? I give myself love by coming out here and having my church. This is a part of my new routine, and I'm happy about that, and it makes me happy, and I don't care what it looks like to other people. because I'm having a good time out here showing my grandparents my beautiful church. And they can't come all the time, but they got to come out here for Father's Day. So, hope you enjoyed this little chat, and I'm going to enjoy my time in the woods. Goodness gracious, he's ready to go. That's why he's not standing up. We're going to put him over here. Hold on one second. All right, so let's see if we can turn this around. So we got him on the little bench right here. Yep. And then gonna go there. And here's me, the dragon. That's my spirit animal, my fantasy animal. So pick a spirit animal. You got fantasy and you got reality. And that's a picture of my niece right there. And I want to be a good role model for her, the way that my grandparents were a good role model for me. And that is what I am trying to do, so that she has somebody positive to look up to. All right, because we don't have to just be a teacher to the children at my school. I can be a teacher to the children in my life. If you liked this video and you liked Chrissy's church, I'm going to try to do this on Sundays at 8:11. I like the number 8. It's an infinity symbol. Okay, love never ends. 2, we are in the new moon of Gemini, which is all about relationships. How are you going to have a better relationship with yourself? How are you going to have a better relationship with those that you love and care about? How are you going to show them love and appreciation for them being in your life and what they've taught you? All right? How are you going to forgive yourself for some of the experiences maybe that you've had that have caused you to have a lack mentality in your life? How are you going to fix that? All right? Show yourself some self-love too, not just the love with other people. If you like this video, make sure that you like it. And comment below. Let me know what you thought about it. And share it if you got something out of it. It does help the algorithms and get me put out there. And this is what I would like to do, is just to get my information out there to help heal others. Because once you heal yourself, you can help heal the world. And that is what I am here to do. My name is Chrissy Smith. This is 9 Lives Energy. And we energize your body from the inside out. And I'm getting ready to do my routine with my ASEA supplements. So if you want to get younger like me, all right, because I'm aging backwards. And I would love to tell you how I'm doing it by increasing my telomere length and improving my cellular health from the inside out. Folks, I look and feel 10 years younger. The only thing that I got a little glitter in my hair. But I'm doing something about that. And vanity is, she's not fun, is she? She makes us think that we're not beautiful unless we do all these things to ourselves. But let me tell you what. I love to dress up. I love to feel good about myself. And if I still want to color my hair a little bit because that makes me feel good about myself, then I'm going to do it. But I'm not going to put Botox on my face. That's a chemical. Even though I'm putting chemicals on my hair, I'm just trying to be more responsible about it. So this is why I put less chemicals in my body. I am trying to drink better things for supplements in the morning besides 5.5 cups of coffee, because that gave me a headache last week for 2 days when I didn't have it. So yeah, anything that does that to me, I need to be finding a solution, and I need to be working on some better routines in my life, which is including doing 8/11 Sunday Soul Church on 9 Lives Therapy. Make sure that you give this a like, comment below, subscribe, and get the notifications so anytime that I post something, you can get something out of it. This is what this channel is about. We're doing workout videos. We're doing motivational projects to help you energize your whole spiritual self. And we do some astrology talks. And let's see, what else do we do? Yeah, interviews with people that are doing cool stuff and helping people be healthier people. And also information on health and wellness products. If you need to develop a new health and wellness routine for yourself, let me know. I'll be more than happy to get in touch with you. My email address is 9livesenergy@gmail.com, and I can put you in the right direction, help you look younger and have more energy. Yay! Bye, guys. Have a great Sunday. Happy Father's Day, Daddy. I mean, Diddy. Diddy.